Alrighty, follow through Friday. A quick recap of what we saw today versus our posted game plan from the pre-market prep live stream. Essentially, coming into the session, we wanted to see how that 4,300 level was going to be treated. This has been a big psychological level from weeks prior. It was also the breakout point from the NFP rally a couple of Fridays ago. So coming into the close yesterday, we broke that 4,300 level. There was some pre-market action. This is only showing regular trading hours. There was some pre-market action against that 4,300 level. What I had said in the pre-market prep live stream was that I wanted to see an open near that 4,300 to kind of gauge the reaction there. We did see that exact scenario play out. Price initially bounced into that 4,300, and that pretty much marked the high for the session. From there, the call was that we could see some downside, some follow through into 42.85 and into 42.50. Both of those targets were hit pretty much in the first 90 minutes of the session, first 2 hours of the session. You do get this afternoon drift higher back into our level of interest at 42.85, and then now we're closing pretty much on the lows here with about 15 minutes into the close. So the question becomes, what is next? What are we looking for on Monday? Essentially, I want to zoom out on this chart here. Going to be looking to see whether or not buyers have any interest in defending these lows. Now, again, this is regular trading hours. If I put it onto the overnight session as well, we can see we do have a level down here into 42.40 area, 42.37. So what I'll be doing on Monday is pretty much just watching this zone right through here to see if there is any buying interest at all. Now, what is interesting about this level is that we also have SPY 200 MA right through here. Okay, so this is definitely going to be a big level for anyone that is trading the ETF. They're going to be looking at that SPY 200 MA as a potential area of support. Now, SPY is still showing a little bit of downside before we actually test those lows. Those lows are currently at 420 and some change. And so that's going to be the big level to be watching in SPY, the final area of support. On ES, again, we're talking about the low from this particular day from October 4th at 42.35. Now, zooming out even more, this is a significant level for the year because we do have the yearly daily volume point of control right through here. And so I'll be paying very, very close attention to this level come Monday, come next week. Not all that surprised by today's follow through. We did break a multi-month trend line yesterday. Not all that unusual to see follow through on this type of move, especially when we have such big support down into this area. What we really want to see here is whether or not any buyers have any appetite for risk again in this point, because you saw, so you can see on the chart, we experienced a 200-point bounce last time we tested this zone. So are we going to get something else like that, or are we going to flush? I have no crystal ball. I have no idea, but that is pretty much what we're going to be looking at on Monday. I'll do a kind of a bigger picture write-up on this in the weekly kickoff that will be sent out on Sunday. That is the newsletter. As far as NQ, let's take a look here. NQ still respecting this overhead trend line, pretty much back into the recent lows, the early October lows, very similar to ES at this point. Now, this setup is a little bit more interesting because we do have this big volume shelf right through here, right into the 14,600 area, call it. So there's going to be a critical level of support for the tech heavy NQ QQQ, right? If this area fails, if this 14,600 area does fail, where are we going to go? Well, we'll probably fill this volume void down into 14,250 area. That's your next high volume node. And also look, you do have the 200 MA right there. And so buyers, bulls are really going to be looking for that 14,600 to be holding. That is what you want to be watching into next week if you are going to be trading or watching NQ or QQQ. Once again, setup is very, very similar to ES currently as far as the location with the near-term structure. Now for individual names, I did have ENPH. The list was pretty light for individual names. We're looking at ENPH as a second day. We had this on watch today. Didn't really show the follow through that I wanted to see. So we'll see if they show any continuation tomorrow, or excuse me, on Monday. Also have Netflix. This posted an inside day on the daily chart. So a bit of relative strength seen in this again, just looking for that 400 to hold. If the market does happen to catch a bounce on Monday or maybe Tuesday, we'll be looking for Netflix to participate in that bounce. Similarly, RBLX, more relative strength today. We observed the RS yesterday, looking for a break of that 32 area. This is actually a better development now with the inside day following yesterday's broad buying bar. Additionally, we do have that RS again today. So just looking for the pretty much the exact same idea, strength up through 32 to trigger this daily pattern, and we're into this daily gap right here. Pretty straightforward stuff there. Main watch, though, of course, remains the ES. Whether or not this low from October is actually the seasonal low or not, we're about to find out likely on Monday or Tuesday. And so something to keep in mind today as well is that it was the monthly OPEX. You do tend to get more unusual flows, more unusual price movements with those monthly OPEX, simply because options have such a big impact on how the underlying price moves these days, simply because of how big the options market is. And so we'll see. I mean, we'll just see if we get that bounce versus the 4240, 4250 area or not. Alrighty, any questions? The setup here is pretty straightforward. We are working with a massive daily pivot here, so all good. Any questions, guys? Alrighty. Well, I will see you all on Monday morning. Hope everyone had a good day. Hope everyone had a good week. Enjoy your weekend. Get that review done. Get that weekly performance review done. Yeah, Benny, I covered NQ. I don't know if you just jumped in, but we're looking at 14,600, potentially down into 14,250 if support fails. 14,600 is the key support there. So that's what you want to be looking at. 14,600 is the main level of interest. Yes, sir. 14,600. So if that fails, look at the volume void, right? Big volume void. Those fill quickly. Here's your high volume node. Around 14, call it 14,300, right? It aligns nicely with your 200 MA. So, alrighty, guys. See you Monday. Have a good weekend. Later.